Right, mate, before I come to 180TC, my life was an absolute mess. And look, it all started probably when I was 30. I was in a massive accident, ended up on life support, and it changed my whole life. So much so that I pretty much lost everything that I loved in life, with work and relationships and housing, and it was just a real mess. And I kind of fell into addiction from there, and I sort of ended up at the end of it. After about 7 years, I found myself in jail, and really sort of sat there in those dark moments and thought to myself, well, this is the chance that I've got to get life back on track. I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to be a better son, a better person. And I got straight out and tried for a little while to keep it together, but eventually relapsed. Missed my young bloke. I missed some milestones in his life because of that, and missed his 18th. And I think by that stage he had a fair bit of resentment towards his dad, and I don't blame him for that. And he ended up doing a bit of jail time himself, and it was then I was just full of just shame and guilt, and just blamed myself for it, and then I just started to not care, because I didn't have, I tried as hard as I could to keep him in my life, and by that stage he was a young man, and he'd had enough, I guess, and I'd sort of told him so many times that kind of just let him down time and time again, mate, and my dad passed away, and that was a really tough time. That broke me, and it broke the whole family. I was back in addiction pretty heavily then, and it took probably 4 or 5 days of my family trying to track me down to let me know that my father had passed, and so that was really rough. It was just when COVID had started and everything was getting, all the country was getting locked down, and it was just a really dark period, and I come back for the funeral, and it was just too much for my family just to bear, like the heartache and the pain and the grief of losing Dad. That was hard enough for everyone, including myself. And I got tossed back out on the street. I don't blame them for that. They just couldn't put up with it anymore, and I couldn't put them through that anymore either. And I just distanced myself and started getting back into bad old habits and hanging around dangerous people again, and the likes of drug dealers and murderers and prostitutes, and and in the end they sort of just wouldn't want me anywhere near them. I felt really isolated, really alone, really abandoned, and it really hurt. But then my sister-in-law, she come down here to 180 and did 12 months. My brother put himself into rehab too, because he wasn't going too well after Dad passed away either. And then when he come back and from rehab, there was something that had changed in his mannerism, and I guess in the way he approached me and said, Jake, you need help, mate, and I prayed for you, And for my brother to say that really struck a chord with me, It kind of resonated with me that he really did love me, and I thought he hated me. And so I made the call to 180, and I was accepted the next week. And anxiety that day, especially, like when I got picked up from the station, Finay picked me up and he had Big Dave with him, and I actually thought Dave was a security guard, because he was a monster of a man. And I guess driving back in on that dirt road, it was really intimidating, Look, at that stage, that dirt road was pretty rough, and there was potholes the size of small swimming pools. So the drive in took it was like creeping at 5 k's an hour. I don't know, like dodging potholes, and it seemed to take forever, And the further we got into the bush, the more nervous I got. And I'm hearing these guys talk about a student that had left and it took him 7 hours to walk home. And I'm thinking, wow, where are they taking me? If it's taken some guy 7 hours to walk out of this joint, like, where am they taking me? And I was like, yeah, I was really peaking at that stage, sitting at the back of the bus going, what have I got myself into here? Not thinking of jumping off and running for my life, because I knew I needed help, but it was pretty nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
What have been some of the highlights?
Bro, there's been a lot of highlights here in the time I've been here. I'd have to say some of the most memorable ones would be sharing testimony. And I shared testimonies to the board of directors here. Not long after I got here, I've shared testimonies to Hillsong Church, and even to young schoolboys from Penrith. They have a joint initiative partnership here with Panthers on the Prowl. We had some boys come out, and that, you know, they really, I think they got a lot just from listening to, you know, an old geezer like me sort of tell some real truth about what life is like and how easy it is to take up with the wrong crowds and you know, run your life into the ground, and you know, before you know it becomes a real mess. The other ones were like, I made a music video here. That was great. I enjoyed that. You know, that was really good. The gala fundraising, I was part of that, where we have a annual fundraising for 180. I got to rub shoulders with high rollers and at Parliament House, and it was really good, bro. I really got a lot from it. And other highlights would be, you know, being the king of Chapel News, the king of Around the Grounds. You know, I own that. That's mine. So, boys, you've got some big shoes to fill when I leave when it comes to Chapel News, and I expect nothing but greatness. And the other one would probably be the best highlight would have been Shane's 24-hour gym. So what happened was, me and the boys, he was in the shower one night, and we took every piece of bench equipment and weights and everything that we could find, and we put it in Shane's room. And while he was in the shower, and he come out of the shower and opened up his room, and he was just gobsmacked. But the funniest part was sitting there watching him trying to put it all back in. He had the shit, wasn't happy at all. But that was, yeah, I laughed for about 3 hours straight. It was like the best Denny Green ab workout you could ever get, mate. I swear I had a sore belly for days. So yeah, it was a super highlight.
All right, Jacob, what does life after program look like for you?
Bro, at this stage, life looks really sweet for me. Compared to where I was at 12 months ago, I've got so much to live for now. You know, I'm going to go home and stay with mum. You know, always, you know, like, it's sad to say, you know, but in addiction, I took mum and dad, you know, for granted. You know, like they'd live forever, and, you know, just took advantage. You know, I really took. Yeah, there's no other way to put it. I took it for granted, but having had some clarity and some clean time, and just that relationship with her restored now, and having you know, it brings joy to her life having her son back. You know, having both her sons back, actually, it brings joy to her life, and I just want to serve her. I just want to be a good son and just spend time with mum. You know, like, she's on her own now, and so it'd be good for both of us. You know, like, she really is my best friend. You know, I love her to death, and me and my brother, you know, like, I actually thought he hated me for a long while, and I've learnt that, you know, with time, our relationship's better now than what it's ever been. So I'm just going to enjoy, you know, like, my family first and foremost. I'm a grandfather, and that's, you know, like, that is the most proudest feeling in the world. I love it. You know, I've got to watch my youngest take his first steps, and just milestones that I missed with me eldest grandson because I was in addiction, and, you know, it's just been, you know, it's just beautiful. You know, like, I really am enjoying, you know, spending as much time with them as I can, and I hope to spend more time with them and help my son and his partner raise them as much as they will allow me to, without stepping on their toes too much. But yeah, like just family relationships, like I'm just enjoying precious moments, you know what I mean? I've got myself connected with the church up here in Newcastle, and I'm excited for that. I've really sort of learnt that it's important to take away from this program a sense of, like a community once you leave here, because I know it can be tough, like you've been around boys for so long, and so I've learnt that that's important, and plus, like it's really been influential for me, growing spiritually and having a relationship with God now, and He saved a wretch like me, mate. So work-wise, I'll ease back into that as much as possible, and I'd really have a heart for by the time I'm 50, which probably isn't that too far away, but I'd like to become a youth worker, bro. That'd be something that, I can just help youth with my, life experience, to make better decisions and just be a positive role model to young kids. So I think it's important, to have good role models. Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. What has 180TC taught me about myself? Mate, it's taught me to be patient. It's taught me to really to be grounded. It's taught me to learn to forgive myself, and be comfortable in my own presence. Not to beat myself up, not to expect too much, but just to really, it's taught me how to be a better man, It's taught me how to be a better father, that's for sure. How to be, like more connected with those that I love, And it's taught me that, I never expected to come here and to become a leader. I never expected to come here and have people look up to me. Never expected to come here and be able to have the privilege to do some of the things I've been invited and asked to do within the community, to become a leader. I just didn't see that in myself because I was so broken before when I got here. I didn't really have much of my self-esteem was pretty shot, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm anything special, but I am the Murbinator. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm the Murbinator now.
Last but not least, mate, final encouragement for everyone in the program.
Yeah, well, look, I've thought pretty long and hard about this one, actually, and I've got a little quote here that I'd like to read, and I've really got a lot from this, and it goes something like this. It says, "Sometimes a door closes, not because we failed, but because something bigger than us says it no longer fits our life. So lock the door, shed your tears, and when you're ready, turn around and look for the new door that's opened. It's a sign that you're no longer the person that you were. It's time to change who you are. It's going to be okay." And I think that really speaks volumes, bro. It's like, it's letting go of the past and moving forward. And I've also left the boys with a legacy. It's on their seat there today. And it's a little passage out of the book of Mark, and it says, I know with time, I know if I'm patient, time can heal. If I face every day with a positive attitude. So I think that's something that I've really sort of become aware of, that time can heal, and I have been patient and face each day with a positive attitude. And I'm here. I've done the 12 months. I'm kicking goals, and mate, I'm not the same person I was when I come in. 50 kilos I put on, like I ate the old Jake.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, mate.